Assalamu alaikum. I'm Al from Customer Experience team. As part of the United Arab Emirates National Strategy for Service Improvement and Customer Experience Digitization, the Ministry of Health and Prevention set a plan to become more customer-centered. MOHAP was innovating with some key projects, but many of its services were receiving complaints from customers. This was because those services were either manual or digitized badly. This was in part because not all departments had consistent approach or were customer-centered. And some departments lacked innovation and customer involvement. The core of the new customer-centric approach was the User Experience Ecosystem Initiative, or UXE for short. You can see UXE as a number of things: a unified process, library of methodologies, a team of specialists, an innovation space, and usability testing lab. Central to this was the UXE unified process that set out to provide a framework to ensure all work that is done by the team was customer-centered and provided not only realistic but also innovative outcomes. The remit of the UX team was to improve all aspects of the customer experience, including more than 150 smart services, our channels like website, chatbot, and mobile app, better customer engagement, and more. A team was created to work on the improvement with key professions of service design, customer engagement, user research, usability testing, user experience design, and interface design. The permanent on-site usability testing lab was staffed by user researchers, research analysts, user recruitment, and research operations. This team was part of all projects done by UXE. All services were tested with customers before, during, and after the improvement of the customer experience. The service design team used the UXE unified process to understand the issues with the existing services by talking to real customers. And then they collaborated with product owners, IT, and strategy using design thinking and service design methodologies to find new, smart, innovative solutions. With the new solution finalized, the UX team then took the new customer journeys and blueprints to design the relevant screens so the new version of the service could be developed and tested with customers. The UXE team also performed activities and initiatives to improve how customers engaged with MOHAP. For example, customer councils were performed monthly to invite groups of customers that use the services to come and discuss their issues and pain points and co-create better solutions. Also, a new CRM was developed that allowed the customer happiness team to better manage customer engagement.
As an example of the work that the UX team has done, let's look at the improvements made to the service cards on the website. All government entities need an easy-to-find guide to each of their services. This is done through the use of service cards, which is a page of content that helps the user understand everything they may need to know about the service. The service card can be simply split into the following helpful description: stages and steps involved, required documents, estimated time to complete, cost to the customer, and channels in which the service can be completed. Every service can be expected to start from the service card at some point. This means it is really important that it is easy to find, easy to understand, and to provide the correct information. Over the multiple sessions of usability testing of the MOHAP services and website, we often found that the service cards were failing in a number of key areas, such as the service card was difficult to find, some services information was out of date, incorrect information was displayed for some users when there was multiple configurations of the service. The service was getting many complaints because of a few pain points from customers. During the usability testings, many users were unable to find the service from the navigation or the site search because the name of the service did not always align with their expectations. Services often change due to policy change or improvements in the service. These changes were not always reflected on the service card for some time. Some services have variations depending on the kind of applications being submitted. This means that things like required documents, expected time and cost may change in many cases. For example, applying for a medical license is different for a doctor compared to a pharmacist. The service card is something that the entire organization needed to be involved with, so it was important that this was a collaborative effort. The UXE research team collected useful feedback from all of the usability testing that involved the service card up to this point. The UXE Experience Design Squad looked for inspiration from other and class-leading sources and pulled together the best practice guidelines. Using all of the data and insights, the user experience team then worked with all of the stakeholders to understand the required features. Then they created a number of concepts that provided an improvement while meeting the goals of the initiative. These concepts were tested internally at first, then with real users to understand the best direction. Feedback was considered and the final concept was documented. Once the final design confirmed, it was then produced as full user interface screens, and further prototype was built to validate the final solution with customers. The design team quickly realized that the page had to be more need-based. Rather than trying to write the content for everyone, we first needed to know who we are speaking to, then tailor the content to them. For each of the services, we create a number of personas. Each persona then had scenarios applied to them. The content for the page could then be created for each of the scenarios. The design team then added an interactive element to the page. This allowed the user to customize the options that matched their needs. Then, the page content was configured to show the right description, timings, process steps, and costs based on their needs. The strategy team built a new platform to keep the content up to date and in one central place. The process steps on the service card are connected directly to the platform so that any change to the services are automatically updated on the page. Furthermore, this platform is also connected to show performance of the service. The development team used the APIs from strategy team's platform to display the new content in the website. The quality assurance team worked closely with the UX and the UT/UI team to ensure the variations on the content matched the designs. The new solution allowed MOHAP to cater to very specific users with the essential content. We are hopeful that the new solution would do well with the customers. And as always, we have to validate with the customer. Therefore, UXE Lab teamed with extensive testings as the development came close to completion. We could see, even with the incomplete versions, that the users were really loving the new design. The stretch goal of the team was to achieve a customer satisfaction score of 90% or above. We are happy to say that we reached that score with the first version. This is a great achievement for all who were involved in the hard work to make this happen. The important thing with this solution is the use cases. They need to allow the user to identify the kind of user they are, so correct content can be shown. We are now working on defining the questions to make sure that all scenarios are clear and easy to follow. To do this, we are planning focus groups and continued usability testing. This will allow us to improve the user experience constantly. Another problem we uncovered while looking into this initiative that was the navigation to get to the page was problematic. To solve this, we have a parallel project that initially used focus groups and cart sorting to find a better information architecture. However, this did not yield useful results. So after the success of the interactive service card, we decided to try a similar approach for the service catalog. This is in the early stages and has already tested well with users. We are also now planning to change the CMS to add a new smart feature to the website. We will implement smarter site search with machine learning, and logged-in users will also be grouped into automatic personas that content is relevant to them by default. Using this, we will also be able to make recommendations of which services and content they are most likely to be looking for. What is clear to us is that there is a lot of opportunities across all of the Ministry of Health and Prevention to use smart thinking like this. We will not stop finding new areas to innovate and make our customer experience the best it can be.